수강생 여러분, hello everyone. I'm going to talk about chapter 10, today's lecture. This chapter addresses the importance of pricing, explores three major pricing strategies, and we'd like to look at the internal and external consideration that would affect pricing decisions. So we have basically three agendas to cover. Today, companies face a fierce and fast-changing pricing environment. So value-seeking consumers have put increased pricing pressure on many companies. However, cutting the prices is not the best answer. No matter what the state of the economy, companies should sell value, not the price. So in this chapter, I'd like to look at what is pricing, what is price, and what is value. What are the strategies that you can set the price? What are something that you have to consider to set the price? What are the most important approaches to set the price? So in this chapter, these are the learning objectives. First one is the definition of price. Second one is that three major pricing strategies and the importance of each. And we're going to have other external internal factors examination. So first one, what is a price? Can you answer this question? In the narrowest extent, price is the amount of money charged for a product or service. But more broadly speaking, price is the sum of all the values that customers give up to gain the benefit of having or using a product or service. So narrow sense is the amount of money that you pay as a consumer for a product or service. But more broad sense is that all the values you give up to gain the benefit of using a product. Sometimes to purchase a product, you need to spend the time. You need searching the information. You need to talk to your friends to check up the quality of the services or the product. So those things are also the value that you give up. So for instance, if there is a service that saves your time or that can give you the best information for the best purchase, then actually that could increase your values because you don't have to give up the time spending. You don't have to searching the good information. So in sum, consumers feel the better value. So you can think about that narrow sense and broad sense. What's the price to consumers mean? What's the price in terms of value proposition? But before we fully expand to the broad sense, we're going to focusing on the narrowest definition of price, like amount of money. In that sense, price is the only element in the marketing mix that produces revenue. Okay? Historically, price has been the major factor affecting buyer choice, as you can recall. In recent decades, however, non-price factors have gained increasing importance. However, still the price remains one of the most important elements that determines a firm's market share and profitability. What's a marketing mix? Can you remember? Yes, we call that as 4Ps, right? What are those? Price, place, promotion, and price. And among those 4Ps, product, price, place, promotion, price is the only element that generates revenue. Think about the product. To develop the product, you need to spend the money. Promotion, to do marketing communication, you need to spend the money, like buying TV or magazines, but then you do SNS marketing. You do sales force recruitment, and then they talk about your product. That's the money. How about place? To distribution, to distribute, to deliver the product, you need to spend the money. But price is something that you're charging your service and something that you got from the consumer, sorry. As you sell your product and services, in return, the customers pay you. That's a pricing. So only element that generate revenue. All other elements represent cost. What's the other characteristic of the price? Price is also one of the most flexible marketing mix element. What does that mean? The product, to change the product, to modify product, it takes time, right? To change your promotion, it takes time, but prices can be changed very quickly. You can just erase the price and then set up the new price instantly on the internet or in the supermarket. You can erase the price information and adapt it in a newer one. So price can be changed quickly. Smart managers treat pricing as a key strategic tool for creating customer value and building customer relationship. So we can say prices have a direct impact on a company's bottom line. So how do you think about Starbucks pricing strategy? How does a company like Starbucks price their product? Based on the goods of the product, based on the cost of the product, or based on the competitor's positioning, benchmarking, or they can just examine the coffee market. There's Idea, there's a Cafe Bena, there's a Starbucks, there's Coffee Bean, and they want to position themselves in the upscale coffee industry. So they use pricing to communicate that. What else? Or they can charge based on the value that consumers experience and feel as they provide nice interiors, music, aroma, taste, quiet environment, Wi-Fi. Those things together could create the values for the consumers. So they charge based on the value. So here in this chapter, we'll show you what are something that you use to determine the pricing. The figure 10.1 suggests three major pricing strategies called customer value-based pricing, cost-based pricing, and competition-based pricing. So recall that the Starbucks example, I have mentioned these three basic major pricing strategy briefly. So let us just take a look at a little more deeply. The price the company charges will fall somewhere between one that is too low to produce a profit or that is too high to produce any demand. So you may consider the profit and the demand to set up your price level. Figure 10.1 that you are looking at now summarize the major consideration in setting price. Customers' perceptions of value, this red one. How does your consumer perceive your product's value? That's the selling point for prices. You cannot charge more than the perception of consumers' value on your product. If they believe you can charge like 10,000 won, then you can charge that much. But they believe that, oh, this is not worthwhile to pay 100 bucks for one t-shirt. Then you cannot go over that for a particular product. So consumers' perception of the product's value is the selling point, 천정, of the prices. Likewise, there is price floor, 바닥, price floor, 바닥, 가격 바닥. So you cannot charge below than this price because that's product's cost. If you charge lower than this price floor, there will be no profit below this price. How about this? If you charge above than this ceiling, there will be no demand because consumers do not perceive that the value. Normally, we set the price between these two extremes, right? And the company must consider several external and internal factors such as competitor strategy, competitors' prices, and your marketing strategy and mix. For example, if you are introduce product, you need to change the price to expand the market base. How about in the growing stage? How about mature stage? How about the declining stage? Your marketing strategy may differ. In the nature of the market, are you monopolistic company? Are you oligopolistic company? 독과점 시장인가? Or there are a lot of competitors exist. So think about the nature of the market and demand. Then you can set up the different pricing strategy. So let us take a look at a little more detail. In the end, the customer will decide whether a product's price is right. Pricing decisions, like other marketing mix decisions, must start with customer value. What does that mean? Customer value, value-based pricing. Effective customer-oriented pricing involves understanding how much value consumers place on the benefit they receive from the product, and the setting a price that captures that value. Next slide, I will show you that value-based pricing and cost-based pricing. Although costs are an important consideration in setting prices, cost-based pricing is often product-driven, and they set a price that covers cost plus a target profit. But marketing must then convince buyers that the product's value at the price justifies its purchases. So if the price turns out to be too high, the company must settle for lower markups or lower sales, both resulting in disappointing profit. So before I introduce the value-based and cost-based pricing, many students often confuse value with low price. Is that correct? No. Think about the product that will value even at a high price. For example, iPhone. iPhone is a little bit of expensive product. There might be a lot cheaper products exist in the cell phone category. But iPhone is very popular and people have a high demand on iPhone. Why? Because those consumers believe that iPhone satisfies higher value. So you cannot say the cost equals value. It's a different thing. Value is different from the cost. How about the luxury car? Some consumers still pay a lot of money and they want to get a luxury car even though they pay a lot. Why? Because they believe that that luxury car have higher values even at that price level. So think about the price for the product is too high. However, others will see the value these products offer to the consumer. What are the examples for that? What are the examples that a company use value-based pricing? When we meet in the offline class, we'll discuss further what are the examples that a company use value-based pricing. Think about the idea, think about the example. Then, to answer this question in the offline class, we need to study further. Figure 10.2 shows value-based pricing versus cost-based pricing. I said, in the end, the customer will decide whether a product's price is right. Because you are just, as a marketer, you just create the value, but they will decide whether this is worthwhile to pay for this money or not, as they compare value versus cost, the price that they pay. Cost of value-based pricing uses buyer's perception of value, okay, not the seller's cost, as the key to pricing. And here, the price is considered along with the other marketing mix variables such as product marketing mix variable before the marketing program is set. However, cost-based pricing is often product-driven. You design a product, determine cost, set the price level based on the cost, and convince buyers of product's value. Okay, we spend this much money to produce the product, and this is that price. So you need to pay this much. Value-based pricing, you assess customer needs and value perception, and set the target price to match customers' perceived value, and determine the cost that can be incurred and the design of product. So it's actually a different process. Value-based pricing reverses these cost-based pricing processes. The company first assesses needs and value perception, and then set the target price, and then based on that, you create the product. So two types of value-based pricing are good value pricing and value-added pricing. What does that mean? Among this value-based pricing, you have a good value pricing and value-added pricing. Good value pricing involves offering the just right combination of quality and good services at a fair price. We're gonna study the EDLP pricing strategy and high-low pricing strategy later in this class. And value-added pricing is a strategy of attaching value-added features and services to differentiate their offers and thus support higher prices. You adopt the more features, more services that differentiate your offers so that you can support higher prices. Okay, this is the end of the first video clip for this chapter 10, and we're going to study a little further on the customer value-based pricing in the second video clip.